Dímelo que. How's it going, everybody? So, today we're going to be starting a series, and this is going to be the first episode of our very own One Piece What If series. So, as you can already guess, we're going to be talking about different scenarios on things that have happened in manga anime and what would have happened if things didn't turn out a specific way. How drastically would that have changed? So, let's get into episode 1. What if Shanks never lost his arm? So, let's start with Shanks. Very iconic. We got Film Red coming out pretty soon. So, what would have happened if he never lost his arm when he saved Luffy? Does him saving Luffy hit the same way? Is it as impactful? To me, I say no. I mean, I remember seeing and reading that for the very first time, and it was huge. You get this character, his introduction, and you see this group of pirates who, at the time, you have no idea what they're about. The story is just getting started, and obviously Luffy wants to travel with them, and they're like, no, it's too dangerous, and he's a kid. He doesn't know any better. And then when things get real hot, and he gets kidnapped and left for dead out in the sea, who saves him but our boy Shanks. But at the time, hockey wasn't a thing. Powers haven't been fully developed. Nothing's been set in stone at the time. But he saves Luffy in a very humane way, where he gets him out of the way, loses his arm for it, and then you could kind of say it was like a retcon. He conquers Haki to weigh the Sea King or the Sea Beast or whatever. And you can argue that he could have done that off rip, have zero repercussion in that moment. But he chose to sacrifice his arm for Luffy. So, what happens if he would have done it before and just saved them? He conquers Haki, saves Luffy, he has his arm, everything's okay. How would that have impacted Luffy? Well, it would have told him that there are no consequences to his actions because everything turned out fine. Like, if he would have done that, he would have both his arms, it would have came back, they all would have been laughing, it would have been another day in paradise with, a minor excursion. And Luffy may not have, obviously he got a realization, but maybe he wouldn't have gotten the full realization on just how dangerous what he's trying to accomplish actually is. So then there's the other side of the spectrum with Shanks. We all know that him and Mihawk had legendary duels, but after he sacrificed his arm for Luffy, Mihawk said he wasn't worth his time anymore. So if he had both his arms, Mihawk and him would have kept dueling. Who's the greatest swordsman now? Does Shanks have a black blade? Because he just keeps fighting Mihawk. One could argue, what happens? Does Shanks become the greatest swordsman and a Yonko? Does that mean Mihawk isn't as impactful anymore? Does that mean Shanks becomes Zoro's goal? And then there's that conflict between Luffy and Zoro? There's a lot of possibilities. And what if we do see Mihawk and he's the second best? So imagine you get the whole thing with Mihawk and Zoro. But now, the whole time that fight's happening, it's and this isn't even the strongest swordsman. Would Shanks have become a Yonko sooner? You know, pre-time skip, he had been a Yonko for 4 years. Post-time skip, 6 years. Would it have happened that much faster just for him having his arm? Because right now we don't know how he fights, other than he uses his sword. But if he had both his arms, is there more to it? We have no idea. And then the other thing too is when he returned to the New World, everyone was freaking out over his arm. They're like, "What the heck? Like this dude is OD. He was in East Blue. What's over there?" And he told, Rayleigh, "I sacrificed it for the new generation." So it was a really big deal he lost his arm. But if he didn't, then the only thing that he would have came back that's missing is the hat. Does everyone notice that the straw hat he used to wear all the time is now gone? Is it even significant to his character? Because you have people like Luffy where his straw hat is like a big thing for Luffy. Then you got Zoro, and he always has a bandana, but they don't take note specifically to bandana. They take note of it, but his green sash is the thing that like people really take note of. So everyone has their little quirk to it, or just a piece of clothing that everyone kind of like takes note of, or how they're dressed, how they look, and with Shanks, does that mean everyone starts realizing about Luffy and the hat sooner? Or no? It's interesting. What really happens if Shanks never loses his arm? Do we even get this far in One Piece? Would the community even have that much regard towards Shanks if he never lost his arm? What if Shanks just ended up becoming non-important, or he's important and then they see him but it's not as huge as what it is due to the fact that he sacrificed his arm to save Luffy? So yeah, those are just random thoughts, random ideas on just how do we take Shanks losing his arm, or not losing his arm rather. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a comment as to what kind of scenario you would want me to go over next for the next episode, or a future episode, I should say. Have a couple ideas for a couple upcoming few episodes, and then I'm gonna take any comments you guys throw. I'm going to take it up and see what I can do with it. And yeah, we'll make this a thing. Do it once a week. I can't promise which day, because life pretty hectic and only getting even more so for me right now. But I will say that we're all working towards, I want to try to do this once a week, an episode, somewhere around Thursday, Friday, and still do chapter like reviews, whenever there is a chapter, and predictions. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and leave a like, and I will see you guys next time. Captain Zevin